Alright, so I've got AEG's framer here and we've got a combo kit of their tools. I'm really keen to unbox these, get a feel for the tools, and then we're going to take them to site tomorrow and spend a full day using AEG tools and see how they go. I'm most keen for the framer though. If you've watched a lot of my videos, I've had countless issues with countless brands of framers. So I'm really keen to test this one out tomorrow. And AEG have also sent me all these tools here, so I probably should say add because they have been given to me. But even though I want to be focusing on the combo kit and the framer, there's some cool stuff in here too, like a digital level, that I'm really curious to try out. Let's push that all to the side for now. Let's start with the framer. This is a one piece of kit I'm most excited to try. All right, first look right now. That is clean. The very first thing I saw just then, that's pretty cool. So the very first thing I noticed with the teeth in this gun, it comes with this rounded cap, which I'm just gonna put back on for a sec. So when I first saw it, it's got no teeth at the front there. It's just got this rounded orange bit of plastic. That's obviously an accessory you can put on if you don't want teeth marks in your timber. And we can take it off. And those teeth are sharp. I'm keen to try this out. They look good. So the other two things I've noticed straight away is the size and the weight. Very similar to the Milwaukee, the Hikoki gun. They're a little bit more heavier than the DeWalt one. Typically guns that do have this amount of weight, they've got a lot of power though. Second thing I noticed, the belt hooks. We've got two. So we've got this one that swivels around, wide enough there to hook over a rafter, which is perfect. And you've got a long hook going straight down too, so that's gonna stay there. And what's better is we have an individual belt hook on the other side. I need to get a battery in this to get a proper feel because right now it's very top heavy. Once you put the battery in though, they should be designed so that the battery kind of counterbalances it out. And sometimes adding the battery makes it feel lighter just because the weight distribution is even and it's not pulling your arm forward and it's just a balanced gun. If we do want to test this with a battery though, it means we're opening up this combo kit. First thing we have is the impact driver. That feels really nice in my hand. Like that's really nice. And we've got the drill as well, and I haven't even had the chance to use these yet, and I'm honestly impressed. The grip, the handle, and just the feel of the trigger, the drill and driver actually seem really good. We do have a carry bag here, so let's get rid of that box. Let's have a look in the bag. All right, so this is the first look of the battery. To release the battery, you can see we've got two buttons there. We've got to hold and pull out. That's cool. That's easy as. Yeah, that's good, I like that. And these are 5 amp 18 volt batteries. We've got two of those. I guess this is gonna be the recip. Actually, it looks like we got a few things in this box. We've got AEG's grinder. It's just your typical grinder handle there. Feels okay, we'll try that out later. Here it is, here's a recip. What is this? Amazing, the first thing I see is we have a rafter hook on the recip. I'm running a DeWalt recip right now. It doesn't have the rafter hook and it's done my head in that many times. We have a dial on the top of the recip and it's got an orbital function that we can turn on or off. I'm not exactly sure what that orbital function is. It's something I'm very interested in now, and we'll have a look at that on site. All right, here we go. For a carpenter, this is going to be the most critical piece of kit, the most critical tool that you get in a combo kit. If a brand's got a good circular saw, I'm happy to use the brand. If it doesn't have a good circular saw, that's it, that's everything. It's one of the most important tools that has to be done right. And one of the first things I look at a circular saw is to see if I can actually go through and sight where the blade would be when I'm cutting the timber. We do have that clear window through there, so I can see the blade. I don't care about looking at the front guards. You'll use those occasionally. I want to actually be looking at where that blade's hitting the timber. So I think I'm going to be a fan of this. I like the design too, that the battery sits in there below the handle. I like that. And we've got the rafter hook too, another win. We've obviously got our charger in there too. And this impressed me the most. A multi-tool, an oscillating tool being in the 6-piece combo. Even better too, we've got the Starlock system as well. The reason I'm so impressed by the oscillating tool being in this kit is I don't know any other brand that would include an oscillating tool in the 6-piece combo kit. Your 6th tool is normally a torch, something that you will use, but not as useful as an oscillating tool. I went way too many years in my apprenticeship without one of these, and now that I've got one, It's one of my most favourite tools. It is so handy for all those small jobs. It's so convenient. I'm so happy to see it this year. At first glance too, I'm very happy with the build. With the battery in, this thing is actually ridiculously light. Alright, now I'm really excited to try out these tools. Honestly, when I started opening up these boxes, I wasn't sure what to expect from AEG. You don't see AEG on site as much as you see Milwaukee, DeWalt, Makita. We're yet to test them so far, but from the feel and the look and the design of these tools, they seem just as good, if not a lot of these tools seem better than those other big brands. Let's try these all out tomorrow and let's see if I can still say that after a solid day on the tools. Whew, that's quick. It's pretty good. One of the biggest downfalls in a lot of battery guns are the teeth. And the fact you can't skew with them. This is actually great. Firstly, I don't need a lot of pressure to push that teeth back. And secondly, look at the grip. Teeth are really good. That's not going to slide. And you just saw me shoot off those first few trusses there. I can actually hold that in place. There's a lot of guns I've used. It will just slide off when you try to skew that first nail in place. They've done that really well. We just need to go through, pack the steel here so we can keep doing trusses. It's a good excuse to try this out. Before I even use this, I've said it before, I love the feel of this tool. The grip can handle the weight. I actually really like the feel. Let's see how it goes. This has a really good like kickback stop in it. So I'm trying to get it to catch and try to see if it'll kick to see how good this stuff is. It should be good. I'm kind of risking my whole wrist trying to test it though. Honestly, I can't get over how good this gun is for skewing. You need no pressure at all. Those teeth don't slide. Mitch, do you want to show using the gun? I want to hear what you think about the gun too. I want to see if it's just me that loves it. I'm not going to say anything to you about the gun. Let's just see your thoughts.
There's like no pressure at all.
The teeth at the end? Yeah.
I'm telling you, there's like no pressure in the teeth. Like,
it's good. And in terms of sliding too, it doesn't slide.
It's definitely lighter than Milwaukee's framer.
You reckon it's lighter? Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, it'd be lighter than the Hikoki too, because that's heavier than Milwaukee's.
Yeah.
That's good. Let's try it on these SS17 style. It's on bonfire. Just laminate a few here. I actually haven't tried this yet. See how quick you can go.
Holy! And it actually punched all the way through.
That thing's actually insanely impressive. I don't know if it's too early to say this, but that's the best battery powered gun I've actually used. I've used the Hikoki, Milwaukee and DeWalt. Definitely better than DeWalt for power. Milwaukee and Hikoki. Milwaukee and Hikoki are powerful. Probably similar power to that, but you can't skew nails when you're doing trusses. That's my favourite gun.
AEG is the next big thing, mate.
Guns blow me away. Drill seems pretty good. We'll actually do some in-depth testing with the drill later. The next main thing I want to look at is going to be the saw. With the blade in, the visibility isn't as great as I thought it'd be. If I'm looking over the saw, you can't see the blade. I have to go on an angle almost about there to see the blade. Leaning over this way though, you can see that blade really well. It's got enough visibility though, enough to work with. The other cool thing is, the plate's actually got a really deep check out there, a really deep metric to show you where the blade's going to cut. Alright, let's see how the saw goes. Visibility's good, cuts really well, feels good. First impression, I like it. I suppose what we have to do though for a proper test is we will set it up and rip some F17 from hardwood timber. Honestly, this saw, it's good, but it's not great. When I say it's not great, there's nothing in particular that I don't like about it. It does the job well. I'm happy with the visibility. It's light, cuts well, blade speeds up, everything's fine with it. When I say it's not great, I just mean I'm not picking this up and it's not blowing my mind with some revolutionary technology. Which is fine. Not every single tool has to be something brand new. It doesn't have to be something different. Sometimes all they have to do is do the job. So that's why this saw is good. I can see myself using it every day with no problems. Unlike some other brands which I've used their saws and I just can't cope with them. Alright, well off-site, I'm back home now, but I do want to keep testing a lot of these tools. One thing I really wanted to do yesterday that we didn't have time for is I want to test the saw and test it ripping some LVL. It actually did really well, especially for an 18 volt tool. I have used 18 volt saws before and they do struggle, they're on the least powerful side. And we haven't done any extensive ripping, but being able to do those few cuts without any problem at all, the saw didn't slow down, it didn't struggle. I'm really happy with this. We do have these 4 tools left though, and I do want to go through and give every single one of these a test. This Impactor is definitely going to hold up. From first feel, I've absolutely loved this tool, and it does have the power to back it up too. So I do love this tool right now, and I think it's going to perform really well in a series of tests that I want to do in the future. I want to get my hands on different tools from all different brands, such as impactors, grinders, nail guns, saws, and dedicate entire videos to test all of them. What I want to do in those videos is just not talk about the feel and the look of the tool, but actually talk about the metrics. I want to be timing how quick it takes these impactors to screw those big bugles into hardwood timber. I want to see how many screws I can do before the battery dies and get solid numbers so we can actually get a number and see which impactors are best, because I do think this AEG is really going to stand up there and be one of the best contenders. And I'm also talking about contending this tool with Makita's 40 volt and DeWalt's 54 volt. Look, I keep saying this too, I wasn't expecting it, but I do think AEG may have one of the best 18 volt systems out there. This thing's good, it does its job. It's definitely another one of those tools though, it doesn't have any standout features that I'm getting wowed at. But I do want to reiterate, that's not a bad thing. It does its job, it's good, I've got no complaints, and having a tool that just does what it's meant to do with no complaints is perfect. Alright, so I'm looking into this orbital feature on the top of this recip. This is something I've never seen a tool do before. So from my understanding, it looks like it's a feature we can turn off and on. It actually seems that when it's on, the blade is more steady and we can leave it on to get a clean cut. So we'll try that first. And then I'm guessing when it's off, it's going to be more of a demolition blade. The cut's not going to be as clean, not going to be a straight line, but it should cut through quicker. That's what I'm getting. First cut, let's go with it on. Alright, so it's cutting slowly, as you can imagine, with the double LVL, but we do have a straight line. I mean, I wasn't trying to make that a square cut, but the line is straight. Let's turn this off and see what happens. Yeah, okay, so with it off, you can see straight away it's done more damage to the timber when the blade was inserted. It definitely cut quicker, but it was bouncing that blade around. If you're trying to do a neat cut with the recip, you know how hard it can be to get that first little groove in and get that straight cut like we did with that first cut. I tend to always look like this second one here. So now that I know what that feature is and know that it actually works, that's awesome. This is good, and it does feel like it's very similar to most 18-volt recips in the market, excluding that orbital function, that orbital fit off and on function. It does put that next level above those other 18-volt recips. It shouldn't be a surprise in saying this though, but I do feel like the 54 and 40-volt recips in the market, they do feel more powerful than this, which you should expect. It's basically having this with 2 batteries on it. The reason I am pointing this out though is, unlike this recip, the drill and driver do seem like they can contend with those 40-volt and 54-volt ranges. Once again though, it's got another good tool, it's got a good feel. It is very similar to most 18-volt recips in the market in terms of the feel, and it's got the rafter hook too, which I love. If you haven't used a multi-tool with the Starlock system, just have a look how easy this is. For AEG Starlock system, we can just pull this up here, and this middle piece sticks up. We can just slide our blade straight through into there, and then put it flat. And to take it off, pull that up, your blade's out. Alright, so that might be a small downside with this tool. I'm putting the sanding attachment on, and I think, unless I'm not doing this right, I think I'm going to take the sanding pad off, sit that on there, close that, and lock it in place, and then I can go through and put the sanding pad on. Not the biggest deal, but it's just that one extra step putting this attachment on. But once that's on, there's like no way you're going to knock that off when you're using it. I still can't get over the fact on how good this is that you're actually going to get yourself a multi-tool in a 6-piece combo. Like being an apprentice and getting this as a first combo kit would be awesome as well, because you can use this as a sander. You don't have to worry about an orbital sander. You've obviously got the cutting functions of the multi-tool. There's so much you can do with this tool. It's so handy. And this is definitely the lightest multi-tool I've ever used. Honestly, I'm a big fan. So I am going to switch over to AEG and give them a proper test for the next few months on site. All my future videos, you're going to see a lot of these tools on site, and that's going to give us a real indication on how they hold up over time. We're going to get a lot more niche situations where we're going to put these tools to the test and see how capable they are. Straight away though, the framing gun, the impactor, and the drill, I think they're worth contenders to be the best out in the market for that 18-volt range. And I keep saying it too, the rest of the tools are great. This is probably the first combo kit I've had where I haven't had a complaint with the tool. My first combo kit was Milwaukee, hated the saw, complained with that straight away. Second combo kit was the DeWalt, and I didn't have the rafter hook on the recip or the saw. I had complaints of every combo kit I've had so far. So it's actually refreshing having every single tool, which is good. And once again, we do have some genuine contenders of being some of the best tools on the market right now.